Hi everyone, welcome back. In my last video, you actually saw me spend a lot of time here in my garage. Now, you may have also noticed that it is a gigantic mess. I mean, there's two cabinets there that I don't use. I need to get rid of those and all the stuff that is on top. I have a bunch of tools on shelves there that almost fall apart. I don't even know what that is. And then we've got our old kitchen island, which currently holds a whole lot of wood, because what I really need to do is create a new workbench. This is currently my workbench. I mean, really? But before we can start, I really do need to clean some things up. There are spiders there, big ones. Floating rivers upstream, the things that you say. So I'm gonna go to the lumber place where we're gonna get a couple of sheets of particle board and a whole bunch of beams that we can put behind the sheets. Where do I go? Do I go left? So not so long ago, I found a lumber place that is really close by my house that actually has a lot of different kinds of wood. Previously, I would actually go to the hardware store to get everything, but it's, first of all, very expensive, and second of all, it's about 15 to 20 minutes away. And this one is only 7 minutes away. But what's also great is that I don't have a very big car. I will need to drive with my trunk open, and the way to this place is actually it's all very small little roads where nobody will see me. So I feel a little bit more confident about driving with my trunk open and sheets of particle board sticking out of the back. Do you see through my windows the beautiful surroundings of my area? We had a good run, don't say we didn't. I was your first love, and you were my first one. So now that everything is cleaned up and we've got the materials here, we can get started on the wall. Now, this is my idea. I'm going to cover that wall right there and the one behind the workbench completely with particle boards. It's going to be very simple. It's not going to be structurally good. So I got a bunch of these and I will be attaching them to the walls. So that I can attach the particle boards against that. We're just gonna get started. Now on that wall right there, I want to be able to store my scrap pieces of wood. So I was thinking if I would just put two of these vertically along the wall and attach the particle boards to it, I would have two studs where I can attach one of these shelving systems where you can just hook the brackets into. So we're gonna start on that side. Let's see how it goes. Or maybe we just hit the end of the road. I know it doesn't even matter. It's too late not to let it go. And that's why I wish you the best. Could have been worse. Guess the first one is the hardest. And then we cry. 'Cause we both know it's gonna hurt, but not as much as this does. So baby, bye. For the best, and you know why. You gotta leave me here tonight before we make this even worse. So it is not going as fast as I had planned, but it's going okay. I'm just gonna go and move on to the rest of the wall. I'm going to frame the windows because I want to create something that looks a little bit more like an actual window. I might even add a little bit of a windowsill so that I can put something cute in it, like a plant or something. Make it a little less garagey. So I'm just gonna keep working until I'm done or it gets too dark. Whichever one comes first. Cause we both know it's gonna hurt, but not as much as this does. So baby, bye. It's for the best, and you know why. You gotta leave me here right now. So it's a new day, and the wall is pretty much done. As you can see behind me, it looks pretty good, if I say so myself. Now the only thing that I still have to do is build a little bit of a cove or like a closet around this situation, preferably with a door so that I can still reach it. And then we can finally move on to building the actual workbench. And I really hope that we can get started on that today, but it's already kind of late, so. Halfway through filming that closet thing with the door, my battery died, so I'm very sorry. But it did work out. There's a door now. Ta-da! So that's all good. So now we can finally move on to the workbench. Now I really liked the way that I did the legs on the kitchen island in my last video, so I wanted to do that again. And I'm already regretting it because that was a lot of work. And now I've got 6 legs instead of 4, and they're even thicker. So I'm probably gonna spend all day today just doing the legs, just chiseling the gap in the legs. I cheated. So I saw a trick online of someone using a table saw to do this. Now I don't have a table saw, I only have a miter saw, but I thought I would give it a try anyway. So what I did is I marked exactly where the gap had to go, and then I took my miter saw and created little cuts along that line. I then took a chisel and took out all these little slivers of wood, and voila, there was a gap. I have spent about 30 minutes on this instead of a day. The only really big downside of it is that it is not a straight cut. It has a dent in it in the shape of the saw blade. So I'm sure that I'm breaking all kinds of woodworking rules and that it's not as structurally sound as it should be. But it took me 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go with it. And if the whole thing falls apart because of my sloppy joints, then we will have learned from it. Maybe not. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to start with the pieces where the legs come together and then see where we go from there. So the frame is completely done. It's very sturdy, so I'm very happy with that. I'm gonna move on to adding the shelving at the bottom, which is just a bunch of boards that I will cut to the same size. And then we're gonna move on to the top. And that's gonna be interesting because I have no idea how I'm gonna do that. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I really, really love seeing new people subscribe to my channel, so it makes me very happy. It also helps my channel grow so that I can make more videos. So hit that little subscribe button. And moving on. My plan changed a bit. The original plan was to drag these boards into the living room, lay them out flat on the floor, maybe have someone stand on them to make them as flat as I could. That was the only thing I could think of. But then I realized I could just use the actual workbench. So I have laid them out here. I've determined the order in which I want the boards to lay, and then I turned the whole thing over, drilled in the pocket holes, and now the plan is to actually glue this whole thing, clamp them together, use something long at the ends and clamp that down to the actual workbench so that it's as flat as they can be. and then drill the pocket hole screws in. Now, I don't actually have clamps that are long enough to cover all 4 boards, so I'm gonna go and run over to my neighbor's house because they do, and I'm allowed to borrow them, so I'm gonna go and pick those up. That is pretty much the last thing that we have to do. I hope you enjoyed watching me redo this garage and build this workbench. I'm going to keep on working though, because there is going to be a part 2. I'm going to do several things. I'm going to create some windowsills, create some storage solutions, and that will all be in part 2. So for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.